My son-in-law called me a failure wearing a trashy t-shirt. It was Thanksgiving night 2024. Connor Smith, my daughter Emma's husband, corporate lawyer making six figures, decided to humiliate me in front of the entire family. 12 people around the dinner table, his work buddies from Patterson and Associates, all watching as he aimed his phone at me like a weapon. Ladies and gentlemen, he announced to his 2,000 TikTok followers, this is what giving up looks like. He zoomed in on my faded blue Goodwill shirt. $12, small hole near the hem. When you stop caring about yourself, you dress like this. Thank God my kids won't inherit his fashion sense or his bank account. The comments exploded instantly. So embarrassing. Poor old man. Someone help Grandpa. I just smiled, kept carving turkey. My hand instinctively moved to protect the shirt pocket where Sarah's handwritten note waited. Connor had no idea this shirt belonged to my dying wife, or that I'd been secretly funding his entire career for 18 months. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you're listening in the comments. 2 weeks later, Connor lost everything. Let me tell you how we got to that moment. I'm David Miller, 54 years old, night shift janitor at Lincoln High School for the past 8 years. Before that, I worked construction until my back gave out. My wife Sarah died 14 months ago. Pancreatic cancer, 3 years of fighting, 3 years of medical bills that buried us so deep I'm still clawing my way out. Connor doesn't know any of this. He married my daughter Emma 2 years ago, right in the middle of Sarah's worst months. Big wedding, $45,000. I paid for most of it, though Emma thinks it came from her mother's college fund. Connor works downtown at Patterson and Associates, mid-level associate. Makes decent money, but spends like he's a partner. BMW lease payment, $847 a month. Apartment in the trendy district, $2,800 rent. Here's what Connor doesn't know about himself. He grew up poor, foster care until 16, worked his way through college washing dishes and cleaning offices. The hunger for status, for respect, for never looking broke again. It drives everything he does. I understand that hunger, but understanding doesn't excuse cruelty. He invited his work friends to Thanksgiving this year. Networking, he called it. 3 other lawyers, all hungry for partnership, all trying to impress each other. I arrived late because I had to finish cleaning the gym after the high school basketball game, still wearing my work clothes, Walmart khakis, $22, and Sarah's old shirt, the one she wore during chemo treatments. Connor's face tightened when he saw me walk in. His colleagues were already seated, drinking wine from glasses that cost more than I make in a day. Sorry I'm late, I said, washing my hands at the kitchen sink. Game ran over. Dad cleans the school, Connor explained to his friends, like he was apologizing for my existence. One of them nodded politely. Another checked his phone. They weren't mean about it, just distant, like I was invisible. Emma hugged me tight. You look tired, Dad. 3 jobs keep me busy. 3? Connor's colleague Brad raised an eyebrow. School nights, gas station weekends, and I do landscaping when the weather's good. Awkward silence. These men probably spent more on lunch than I make in a week. At least the kids have better role models now, Connor muttered, thinking I couldn't hear. But I heard everything. The subtle digs, the way he positioned himself between me and his friends, the apologetic looks he gave them when I spoke. During dinner, I mostly listened. They talked about expensive restaurants, vacation homes, golf memberships. Connor bragged about his latest case, inflating his role, making himself sound more important than he was. I touched my shirt pocket. Sarah's note was still there, folded small and soft from handling. Wear this and remember I'm always with you. Written in her careful handwriting 3 days before she died. Every word of Sarah's like a knife cutting into my heart. She'd known I'd need those words someday. Known I'd need strength to face moments exactly like this. Connor doesn't know I read that note every morning. He doesn't know I wear this shirt on holidays because it makes me feel close to her. He doesn't know that every thread, every stain, every worn spot tells the story of the bravest woman I ever knew. He just sees a cheap shirt on a poor man. After dinner, Connor started setting up his phone. Ring light, tripod, the whole production. His friends gathered around, excited to be part of his content. I do these little lifestyle videos, he explained to them. Success mindset. My followers love behind-the-scenes content. I was clearing plates when he called out, "Hey David, come here a second." Something in his voice made me pause. Emma was in the kitchen with her mother-in-law. Connor's friends had their phones out too, ready to capture whatever came next. "Stand right there," Connor pointed to a spot in front of his ring light. "I want to show my followers what real family looks like." I should have walked away, should have trusted the warning bells going off in my head. Instead, I stood where he pointed. "Perfect," Connor grinned at his phone screen. "This is going to be great content." 2,000 people watching live, comments already starting. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is what giving up looks like." I felt the heat from his ring light, saw his friends smirking behind their wine glasses, heard Emma's sharp intake of breath from the kitchen doorway, but I didn't move, didn't argue, didn't defend myself. I just smiled and touched my shirt pocket where Sarah's love letter waited. Because Connor had no idea what he'd just done, no idea who he was really mocking, no idea that the poor old man in the cheap shirt controlled his entire future. The video went live immediately. Views climbing fast, comments pouring in. "This is so sad. Someone get Grandpa some help." "Imagine being this broke at 50? Connor beamed at his phone. 2,000 views already. This could blow up. His friends congratulated him. Emma looked mortified but stayed quiet. And me? I finished clearing the dishes, kissed Emma goodbye, and drove home in my 1997 Honda Civic with 247,000 miles on it. But first, I made a mental note to check something when I got home. Something about a trust fund worth $1.8 million. By Saturday morning, Connor's video had 400,000 views. I woke up to 12 missed calls, text messages from numbers I didn't recognize. Emma crying on my voicemail, "Dad, I'm so sorry." I had no idea he was going to do that. People are saying horrible things. I made coffee in Sarah's favorite mug, the blue one with tiny flowers that she used every morning for 12 years. Sat at our kitchen table, the same table where she used to plan her chemo schedule, and opened TikTok. The comments were brutal. "This is what rock bottom looks like. Get this man some dignity. I'm actually embarrassed for him. When keeping it real goes wrong. Someone start a GoFundMe for Grandpa's wardrobe." Hundreds of thousands of strangers laughing at my grief, mocking the shirt that Sarah wore through her darkest days, making jokes about the man who'd been secretly keeping their golden boy afloat. But something else was happening. The video was spreading beyond Connor's usual audience. Real people were starting to comment. "This seems mean. Why is he making fun of an old man? My dad dresses like this. He's a good man." My phone rang. Connor. "David, hey, listen." His voice was different, excited but nervous. "The video's going crazy. 600,000 views. This could really blow up for me." I sipped Sarah's coffee from Sarah's mug and said nothing. "Look, I know some of the comments are harsh, but that's just the internet, you know? The algorithm loves authentic content. Real family moments. Real family moments. Exactly." And I was thinking, maybe we could do a follow-up? Like a collaboration? Grandpa's glow-up or something? Really lean into the transformation angle. Each word hit me like a physical blow. He wanted to monetize my humiliation, turn my grief into content, make money from mocking Sarah's memory. What does Emma think about this? Emma gets it. She knows how social media works. This is business, David. Opportunity. I walked to the window, looked out at the small backyard where Sarah and I planted tomatoes every spring, where she sat in her lawn chair during good days, wearing this exact shirt, reading romance novels and drinking sweet tea. "Tell me something, Connor." "Sure. When you look at this shirt, what do you see? What do you mean? You made fun of it in front of 600,000 people. So tell me, what do you see when you look at it?" Long pause. I could hear him breathing, probably checking his view count again. "I see. It's just, David, it's a $12 shirt from Goodwill. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but presentation matters. Image matters. In my line of work, people judge you in the first 3 seconds. In your line of work, law is about credibility, authority. You have to look successful to be successful." I pulled Sarah's note from my pocket, unfolded it slowly, read her words for the 1,000th time, each one cutting deeper than Connor's cruelty. "Don't let anyone make you small, David. You're stronger than you know." She'd been right. I was stronger than he knew. David, you still there? I'm here. So, what do you think about the collaboration? I thought about Sarah in the oncology ward, bald and beautiful, wearing this same blue shirt while poison dripped into her veins. I thought about her smile when I complained about the hospital coffee. I thought about her laugh when I told stupid jokes to distract her from the pain. I thought about Connor's BMW payments, his apartment rent, his law school loans, his wedding expenses, his entire lifestyle built on money that came from the woman whose memory he'd just mocked for profit. I think you should be careful what you wish for, Connor. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Just be careful. I hung up and blocked his number. Within hours, something unexpected started happening. The video was being shared in different contexts. Teachers from my school commenting. Parents defending me. Students posting supportive messages. Mr. David is the nicest man at our school. This guy helped my family when my dad lost his job. Why is this lawyer bullying an old man? But Connor didn't see those comments. He was too busy celebrating his viral moment, posting screenshots of his view count, planning his next video. By Sunday, the video had 1.2 million views. Connor's excitement was infectious on his social media. When your content hits different, working on something special for my amazing followers, the response has been incredible. Emma called crying. Dad, people are sharing it everywhere. My coworkers saw it. My college friends, I'm humiliated. Don't be humiliated of me, sweetheart. I'm not humiliated of you. I'm humiliated of him. What he did was cruel. He's your husband. That doesn't make it right. I could hear her sobbing. 26 years old, caught between loyalty to her father and the man she married. This wasn't her fault. Emma, listen to me. Everything's going to be okay. How can you say that? Over 1 million people are laughing at you. Because they don't know the whole story. What story, Dad? I looked at the stack of trust documents on Sarah's desk. Legal papers that would change everything Connor thought he knew about his life. The story about why I really wear this shirt. Why do you wear it? I closed my eyes. Saw Sarah choosing this shirt for chemo because the cotton was soft. Saw her folding it carefully after each treatment. Saw her wearing it on her last good day, smiling despite everything. Because it was your mother's armor. Sunday morning, I drove to Riverside Cemetery. Sarah's headstone is simple granite. Beloved wife and mother. She made everyone feel loved. Emma chose those words, said they captured her mom perfectly. I sat in the grass wearing the shirt that started this war, pulled out Sarah's note and read it aloud. Wear this, and remember, I'm always with you. Don't let anyone make you small, David. You're stronger than you know. Love always, S. 1.6 million views now. Connor had posted 2 more videos overnight, riding his viral wave. How I turned family dinner into internet gold. Building your brand through authentic storytelling. Authentic storytelling. Built on my humiliation. What would you do, sweetheart? I asked the headstone. The wind rustled through the oak tree we planted on her first anniversary here. Sarah always believed in consequences. Natural consequences, she called them. Actions and reactions, choices and results. I pulled out my phone and called my lawyer. David Miller for Janet Richardson. Mr. Miller, I saw the video. Are you okay? Janet had handled Sarah's estate, knew every detail of what we'd left behind, including the trust Sarah set up in her final months. I need to ask you about the SM Holdings account. Of course. What specifically? The construction contract. Brennan Development Group. 1.8 million over 18 months. Yes, the commercial project downtown. Payments have been going out monthly as instructed. Is there an issue? I watched a cardinal land on Sarah's headstone. She always said cardinals were messages from heaven. I want to terminate the contract. Long pause. Terminate? David, that represents significant ongoing revenue. Are you sure? I'm sure. May I ask why? Personal reasons? I'll need this in writing, of course, and there may be financial penalties for early termination. That's fine. All right. I can have the paperwork ready Monday morning. But David, this will impact the payments you've been making through the trust. You realize that? The trust payments. $150,000 over 18 months to Connor's law firm. Money that kept them afloat during slow periods. Money that paid Connor's salary when other clients weren't paying their bills. I realized that. Should I inform Patterson and Associates that their biggest client is withdrawing? Patterson and Associates, Connor's firm, where he strutted around in expensive suits, never knowing his paychecks came from the poor old man in the cheap shirt. Not yet. I want to handle that personally. After hanging up, I drove downtown to Brennan Development. Their offices occupied 2 floors of the glass tower Connor could see from his apartment window. Michael Brennan had been Sarah's college friend's husband. They'd stayed close for 30 years. When Sarah got sick, Baker admitted consulting work, simple tasks that paid well enough to keep us afloat. When Sarah died, he suggested something bigger. His company needed a silent partner for their downtown project, someone who could provide consistent monthly funding without the publicity that came with traditional investors. Sarah's trust became SM Holdings. Michael's project got reliable financing, and Connor's firm got their biggest client without ever knowing they were taking charity from a janitor. "David!" Michael stood up when I walked into his office. "Good to see you. How are you holding up?" "I've been better." I showed him the TikTok video, watched his face change as Connor's voice filled the room. "This is what giving up looks like." "Jesus Christ, David. This is your son-in-law? Emma's husband? He has no idea who you are?" "He's about to find out." Michael leaned back in his chair. "What do you need?" "I want out of the contract." "David, that's $150,000 a month to his firm, 25% of their revenue if we pull out. They'll have to make cuts. They'll have to lay people off." Maybe close entirely. I thought about Connor's excitement over his viral video, his plans to monetize my humiliation, his complete inability to understand what he'd destroyed. "Michael, let me ask you something. If someone mocked your wife's memory in front of 2 million people, what would you do?" He looked at Sarah's picture on my phone screen, the one from her last Christmas, wearing the same blue shirt, smiling despite everything. "I'd make them understand the cost of cruelty." "Then you understand." I signed the termination papers that afternoon, effective immediately. Michael waived all penalties as a courtesy to Sarah's memory. Monday morning, Patterson and Associates would lose their biggest client. Connor would spend the week wondering why, panicking about layoffs, scrambling to find new business, and I would wait patiently for him to discover that consequences, like cardinals, always come home to roost. Sarah always said the truth has a way of surfacing. Like oil in water, you can stir it, shake it, try to hide it, but eventually it always rises to the top. Monday morning, 9:17 a.m. I was mopping the science hallway when my phone buzzed. Text from Emma. "Dad, Connor's having a panic attack." His biggest client just vanished. They might have to lay people off. He's been on the phone all morning trying to figure out what happened. I smiled and kept mopping. The students were in first period. Hallways empty except for the occasional bathroom pass. My cart squeaked as I moved from classroom to classroom, just like always. Just like the invisible janitor Connor thought he knew. At 10:33, Connor called. I'd unblocked him temporarily. "David, I need to ask you something weird." "I'm working, Connor. This won't take long." You don't know anyone in construction, do you? Like big commercial projects?" I paused the mop mid-stroke. "Why would you ask that?" "We lost a client today. Huge account, $150,000 a month. The whole thing's just strange." "Strange how?" "They terminated for personal reasons. No warning, no complaints about our work, just gone." Through the classroom window, I could see Mrs. Patterson teaching geometry to sophomores. Same classroom where Emma had struggled with algebra 15 years ago, where Sarah came for parent-teacher conferences in this exact shirt because it was the only clean thing she had after back-to-back chemo sessions. Maybe they found better representation. That's what I thought, but Brad did some digging. The client was SM Holdings, shell company, anonymous ownership. Nobody knows who's actually behind it. SM Holdings, Sarah Miller Holdings, the financial structure she'd created to take care of everyone after she was gone, including the ungrateful son-in-law who was now panicking about losing money he'd never earned. Sounds like rich people problems, Connor. This is serious, David. They're talking about cutting associates, maybe even partners. People are scared. I thought about Connor's latest TikTok from yesterday. 1.8 million views. Comments still pouring in. When your content strategy actually works. Still making money from my humiliation. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Will you keep your ears open? You work all over town. If you hear anything about SM Holdings or Brennan Development, let me know. The irony was exquisite. Connor asking me to help find the mysterious client who destroyed his day. Never suspecting the poor old man in the $12 shirt held all the answers. I'll keep my ears open. That afternoon, something beautiful happened. Students started appearing at my office. Mr. David? Ashley Martinez, senior honor roll student. We saw the video. The mean one. Are you okay? I'm okay, Ashley. Thank you for asking. My grandma says people who make fun of old people have no soul. More students trickled in throughout the week. Jake Thompson, whose locker I helped unstick every morning. Maria Santos, who I'd driven to the hospital when she twisted her ankle at homecoming. Tommy Chen, who stayed after school to help me move desks when his back was fine and mine wasn't. They'd all seen Connor's video. They had opinions. Mr. David doesn't act poor, Jake announced loudly in the hallway. He's like the nicest guy in school. That lawyer dude is toxic, Maria declared to anyone who'd listen, making money off embarrassing family. The teachers started talking too. Janet from English, Bill from math, Sandra from the main office who'd watched me work 3 jobs for years without complaint. That boy doesn't know what he's dealing with, Sandra told the other secretaries. David Miller is solid gold, has been through hell and back without a word of complaint. By Tuesday, Connor's panic calls started coming every few hours. David, this is getting worse. They're scheduling individual meetings with all the associates, performance reviews. Brad thinks they're deciding who to cut first. I'm sorry to hear that. Emma's worried sick. We just bought new furniture, car payments, the apartment lease, the furniture bought with bonuses from contracts funded by Sarah's trust. The car lease paid with salary that flowed from my wife's life insurance money. The apartment rented with income that came full circle from Sarah's legacy through Brennan Development, through Patterson and Associates, into Connor's bank account. A circle of charity he never suspected. Maybe it's time to cut back on expenses. Cut back? David, I'm a lawyer. Image matters in this business. I can't show up to client meetings looking like... He caught himself. But we both knew what he'd almost said. Looking like me. Sometimes image is all you have left when everything else falls apart. What's that supposed to mean? Just something Sarah used to say. Wednesday morning brought worse news. Emma called crying. Dad, they laid off 8 people. Connor wasn't one of them, but his salary got cut 25%. He's devastated. 25%. From the job that existed because of money, originally meant for Emma's college fund. From the firm that operated on my wife's generosity. From the career built on anonymous donations, from the man he'd mocked in front of 2 million people. How's he handling it? He keeps saying someone's targeting the firm, like it's personal. He's convinced SM Holdings pulled out to hurt them specifically. Someone was targeting them. Someone with insider knowledge of their financial dependence. Someone who understood exactly how much damage the contract termination would cause. Someone wearing a $12 shirt who knew the difference between earned success and borrowed prosperity. But Connor was getting close to the truth. Too close. Emma, I said carefully, whatever Connor's going through at work, don't let it affect your marriage. Focus on what matters. I'm trying, Dad. But he's been so angry. About the job, about money, about everything. Yesterday he said the whole viral video thing was cursed. That going viral brought him bad luck. Bad luck. As if mocking a dying woman's memory was just unfortunate timing. Maybe it's not luck. Maybe it's just consequences. What do you mean? I looked at Sarah's picture on my desk, her radiant face despite the chemo, wearing the same blue shirt during her final holiday season. Your mother used to say that actions have echoes, sweetheart. Sometimes it takes a while for them to come back to you. The echoes were just getting started. Sunday dinner at Emma's apartment. Connor insisted we needed to clear the air as a family. I arrived at 6, wearing the same blue shirt. Not to provoke him, I wear it every Sunday because Sarah and I used to go to dinner every Sunday for 12 years. Old habits die hard. Connor was pacing the living room when I walked in. Designer jeans, expensive sneakers, nervous energy radiating off him like heat. But something was different. His confidence was cracking. David, good? Sit down. We need to discuss the elephant in the room. Emma emerged from the kitchen carrying a casserole dish. Dad, you didn't have to bring wine. Your mother taught me never to show up empty-handed. Connor stopped pacing. About Mom. About the whole viral situation. I sat in the chair Sarah used to prefer when we visited, the blue one by the window where she could watch the sunset while Emma cooked. What situation? The video. The aftermath. All of it. Connor sat across from me, leaning forward like he was negotiating a settlement. I think maybe we got off on the wrong foot. Emma set down the casserole and looked between us, worried. She knew her husband well enough to recognize when he was working an angle. Connor's been doing some thinking, Emma said carefully. I've been researching, Connor corrected. The timing is suspicious, David. My video goes viral, then my biggest client disappears. That's not coincidence. I touched my shirt pocket where Sarah's note waited. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that maybe you know more than you're letting on. Emma's face went pale. Connor, what are you talking about? SM Holdings, M, the shell company that destroyed my career. It traces back to something called the Sarah Miller Trust. The room went quiet. Even the traffic outside seemed to pause. Sarah Miller, Connor continued, died in 2023. Same year the trust was established. Same year SM Holdings was incorporated. I stood up slowly, walked to the window where Sarah and I used to watch sunsets together, where we talked about Emma's future, where she made me promise to take care of our daughter after she was gone. Tell me about Sarah, Connor. I know she was your wife. I know she died of cancer. I know she left money. What kind of cancer? Connor glanced at Emma for help. Pancreatic? How long was she sick? 3 years. What was her favorite color? Silence. What was her maiden name? More silence. Connor, I said quietly, you've been married to her daughter for 2 years. You've profited from viral content about her widower. You've built conspiracy theories about her legacy, but you know nothing about the woman who made all of it possible. I pulled Sarah's note from my pocket, unfolded it carefully. She wrote this 3 days before she died. Emma started crying. Connor looked trapped. Don't let anyone make you small, David. You're stronger than you know. I refolded the note and put it away. She was right. I am stronger than you know. Connor's phone buzzed. He glanced at it reflexively. The video's at 2.1 million now. Good for you. David, look, I'm sorry if I... No. I picked up my jacket. You're not sorry. You're panicking because work isn't going well and you're looking for someone to blame. But you're not sorry. I kissed Emma's forehead. Dinner smells wonderful, sweetheart. Save me some leftovers. At the door, I turned back. Connor, you should probably start updating your resume. I hear the legal market is getting competitive. His face went pale. What do you know about my firm? I smiled. The same smile I'd given him at Thanksgiving dinner. More than you think. David, if you know something about SM Holdings, I know that actions have consequences, and your consequences are just getting started. I left him standing there, finally understanding that the poor old man in the cheap shirt might not be as powerless as he'd assumed. Monday morning, Connor posted a new video. Mental Health Matters, When Family Drama Gets Dark. 2.3 million views by noon. Hey everyone, Connor here. Some of you have been asking about my father-in-law situation, the man from the viral video, and honestly, I'm concerned about his mental state. I watched it during my lunch break, sitting in the school cafeteria, where I eat the same peanut butter sandwich Sarah used to pack for me. David's been making strange accusations. Conspiracy theories about my work, acting paranoid. Emma's scared. We think grief might be affecting his judgment. The comments shifted from mockery to pity. Poor old man probably has dementia. This is actually heartbreaking. Connor's being so patient with him. Mental illness is real, guys. But something else was happening. Students were fighting back. Jake Thompson posted a response video. This is my janitor, Mr. David. He's not crazy. He helped my family when my dad got laid off. Just showed up with groceries. Never asked for anything. Maria Santos made a TikTok. That lawyer dude is lying. Mr. David is the kindest person at our school. He drove me to the hospital when I got hurt. Stayed until my mom arrived. Ashley Martinez organized something bigger. Respect Mr. David Day. 50 students wore blue shirts to school, posted photos with signs, "Not all heroes wear capes." Some wear $12 shirts. The hashtag number sign, hashtag respect. Mr. David started trending locally, but Connor doubled down. Posted another video. Update. Family intervention needed. I'm worried David might be experiencing a psychological break. He's making bizarre claims about business connections he couldn't possibly have. Emma and I are looking into professional help. That's when the teachers got involved. Janet from English made a Facebook post. I've worked with David Miller for 8 years. This man is solid as granite. He's helped more families in this community than anyone knows. Some lawyer making fun of him for content should be ashamed. Sandra from the main office was more direct. Connor Smith is a predator, making money off embarrassing a grieving widower, then gaslighting him when people push back. Disgusting. Local news picked it up. Viral video controversy divides community. They interviewed Connor first. Professional setup, expensive suit, earnest expression. It's difficult when someone you care about starts showing signs of mental decline. We just want David to get help. Then they interviewed people who actually knew me. David Miller saved my car when it broke down in the parking lot, said Susan Wright, chemistry teacher. Stayed 2 hours past his shift, wouldn't take money for gas. He helped my family when my dad lost his job, Jake Thompson told the camera. Just showed up with groceries. Never made a big deal about it. This man works 3 jobs and never complains, Sandra declared. And some entitled lawyer wants to make jokes about his clothes, then call him crazy when he fights back? The news segment went viral too. Different viral. Number sign justice for Mr. David spread beyond our community. Comments under Connor's videos changed tone. Wait, this old man seems really sweet. Students defending him says everything. Maybe Connor's the problem here. Plot twist. The crazy father-in-law is actually a saint. Wednesday night, Connor called. His voice was strained. David, this news story, it's making me look bad. How so? People are saying I'm bullying a nice old man, that I'm gaslighting you. Are you? I'm trying to help you by telling millions of strangers that I'm mentally ill? Long pause. I could hear him breathing, probably watching his comment section turn against him in real time. The whole situation's just spinning out of control. It's about to spin further, Connor. What do you mean? I mean, you picked the wrong target. You thought you were punching down at a powerless old man, but sometimes powerless people have friends. Sometimes they have students who love them. Sometimes they have colleagues who respect them. David, if I said something wrong, you didn't just say something wrong, you tried to destroy my reputation to save your own. You called me mentally ill because I threatened your narrative. Connor, let me ask you something. When you made that first video mocking my shirt, did you research who I was? Did you ask Emma about my life? Did you consider that maybe there was more to the story? Silence. You didn't. You saw an easy target and you took the shot. Now you're discovering that your target shoots back. Are you threatening me? I looked at Sarah's picture on the mantel, her radiant smile in the blue shirt that started everything. I'm educating you. About consequences, about respect, about what happens when you mistake quiet dignity for weakness. I hung up and turned off my phone. Time for the final lesson. Saturday morning, I spread everything across Sarah's desk. Bank statements going back 18 months. Trust documents with her signature. Construction contracts in SM Holdings letterhead. Payment receipts to Patterson and Associates. Every piece of paper that told the story, Connor was slowly discovering. Sarah's life insurance policy, $400,000. Her parents' inheritance, $600,000. The house we'd paid off before she got sick, $200,000 in equity. Total, $1.2 million. After medical bills, funeral costs, and basic living expenses, Sarah's trust held $800,000 when she died. She'd left specific instructions. Take care of Emma's future. Help the kids if they need it. Don't let anyone know where it comes from. Anonymous kindness is the purest kind. Help the kids. That included Connor. I pulled out my calculator and started adding. Every payment, every transfer, every dollar that had flowed from Sarah's legacy into Connor's life. Wedding expenses, $45,000. Listed as a graduation gift from Emma's college savings. Connor's law school loans, $80,000. Quietly paid off through an anonymous scholarship fund Sarah established. Their apartment security, Deposit $5,000. Emma thought it came from her part-time job tips. Connor's BMW down payment, $8,000. Listed as a wedding present from family savings. Emergency dental work when Connor broke his tooth, $2,500. Paid through their dental office's charity fund. The Brennan Development Contract, $150,000 per month for 18 months. $2.7 million total to Connor's law firm. I stopped calculating at $1.8 million. $1.8 million of Sarah's money had kept Connor afloat, paid his bills, built his career, funded his lifestyle, all while he called me poor and mocked my clothes and treated me like an embarrassment. Each number felt like a betrayal, not of Connor, he'd never promised loyalty, but of Sarah's faith in human decency. Her belief that kindness would be recognized, even if not acknowledged. My phone buzzed. Text from Emma. Dad, Connor's been up all night researching the Sarah Miller Trust. Found legal documents online. He's acting paranoid. Says it's all connected. I'm scared he's having a breakdown. Connor was getting close. Too close. But not close enough to understand the human cost of his cruelty. I drove to Janet Richardson's law office with everything organized in manila folders. Color-coded. Chronological. The kind of documentation that would survive scrutiny. David, this is comprehensive. Janet reviewed each document carefully. You've tracked every expenditure. Sarah would have wanted transparency. This shows Connor's firm received $2.7 million from your wife's trust through the Brennan contract alone, plus another $600,000 in direct support over 2 years. Janet looked up from the papers. Does he know? He's starting to piece it together. Emma says he's been researching online. What do you want to do? I thought about Sarah's final letter, about her instructions to help Emma's family, about her belief that love should be unconditional, but respect must be earned. I want to present him with the facts. Publicly, let him explain to the world how a poor old man funded his entire adult life. That could be devastating for him. Connor devastated my wife's memory for 2 million TikTok views. I think we're approaching even. Janet started pulling forms. The Christmas party is Friday. Patterson and Associates always invites their major clients, former clients. You could request speaking time as SM Holdings representative. How long would I have? 5 minutes, maybe 10 if you keep their attention. I'll keep their attention. Sunday night, I sat in Sarah's chair wearing Sarah's shirt, writing her a letter I'd never send. Sweetheart, I tried to honor your wishes. I helped Emma quietly. I supported Connor anonymously. I stayed invisible like you asked. But he crossed a line, made our private grief into public entertainment. Called me mentally ill when I fought back. Turned your memory into content for strangers to consume. You said kindness should have limits. I found mine. My phone buzzed. Connor had posted another video. Family drama update concerning discoveries. 2.8 million views. I've uncovered some disturbing connections, Connor told his audience. The anonymous client who destroyed my firm? It's connected to my father-in-law. I think David might be involved in financial fraud, using his dead wife's identity for business purposes. Financial fraud, using Sarah's identity. The man whose every success came from her generosity was now accusing me of exploiting her memory. The comments were split between his followers and my defenders. This is getting crazy. Plot armor thick on this old man. Connor's losing it. Mr. David would never do anything illegal. I opened my laptop and typed an email to Patterson and Associates event coordinator. I represent SM Holdings, your former client. I'd like to attend your Christmas party to address some misconceptions about our business relationship. I think your associates would find my presentation educational. Time to show Connor what financial fraud actually looked like, and what happened when you bite the hand that's been feeding you for 18 months. The Patterson and Associates Christmas party was December 15th. Downtown Marriott, 38th floor ballroom. 150 guests, partners, associates, clients, and their families. I wore my best suit. The navy one Sarah helped me pick out for Emma's wedding, and underneath the jacket, Sarah's blue shirt. Connor spotted me the moment I walked in, his face drained of color. He was standing near the bar with his colleagues, probably still explaining why his biggest client had vanished without warning. David? He approached cautiously. What are you doing here? I was invited. By who? I smiled and showed him the email on my phone. SM Holdings received an invitation. As Patterson's former largest client, I thought it would be polite to attend. His eyes went wide. You're... what? The ballroom was elegant but smaller than I'd expected. Crystal chandeliers, city lights beyond tall windows, waiters circulating with champagne. The kind of event Connor loved, where image mattered more than substance. Ladies and gentlemen, the managing partner announced from a small stage, before dinner we'd like to hear from some special guests. I'd requested 10 minutes during the client recognition segment, told them I had insights to share about successful attorney-client relationships. Connor, I said quietly, you might want to find a seat. David, what's going on? How do you know about SM Holdings? What are you planning? Please welcome David Miller from SM Holdings, the managing partner announced. One of our most interesting former clients. Polite applause, confused faces looking around, trying to place me. Connor stood frozen as I walked toward the microphone. Good evening, thank you for having me. I looked out at 150 faces, lawyers, spouses, staff, people who lived Connor's dream life, people who would understand exactly what I was about to reveal. I want to tell you about this shirt. I opened my suit jacket, revealing the faded blue cotton underneath. A few people smiled politely, probably expecting some heartwarming story about humble beginnings. I bought this shirt at Goodwill for $12. 3 weeks ago, Connor Smith made fun of it on TikTok. 2.8 million people have now watched him mock this cheap, ugly shirt. The room quieted. Connor stood near the back, shaking his head slowly. But Connor doesn't know this shirt's story. He never asked, so I thought I'd share it tonight. I pulled Sarah's photograph from my pocket, the one of her in the oncology ward, radiant despite everything, wearing this exact shirt. This shirt belonged to my wife, Sarah. She wore it to every chemotherapy session for 3 years. Pancreatic cancer. Soft cotton didn't irritate her skin during treatment. She died 14 months ago. Someone gasped softly. The room's energy shifted completely. Before Sarah died, she set up a trust. Sarah Miller Trust, SM Holdings. She wanted to help young people start their careers. Anonymous support. The kind that doesn't come with credit or recognition. I could see Connor in my peripheral vision, his face growing paler by the second. 18 months ago, Connor's firm needed clients. Big clients. So Sarah's trust provided one. SM Holdings became your largest account. A construction project worth $150,000 per month. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, heads turning toward Connor, phones discreetly starting to record. Connor never knew where his biggest client came from, never knew his salary was paid by a dead woman's insurance money, never knew the poor old man in the cheap shirt was funding 25% of this firm's revenue. The managing partner's face had gone ashen. Other lawyers were checking their phones, probably reviewing client files. But here's where it gets interesting. I pulled out Janet's manila folder. Every document organized and highlighted. Connor's law school debt, $80,000, paid by Sarah Miller Trust through an anonymous scholarship. Connor's colleagues turned to stare. His mouth opened and closed soundlessly. Connor's wedding, $45,000, paid by Sarah Miller Trust as a gift to Emma. His BMW down payment, $8,000, from Miller Trust. Emergency dental work, $2,500. Sarah Miller Trust apartment deposit, $5,000. Sarah Miller Trust. With each revelation, the room grew more silent. 150 professional adults watching Connor's entire life exposed as an elaborate charity case. In total, my late wife's trust provided $1.8 million to support Connor's lifestyle and career over 18 months. Someone whispered, Jesus Christ. Yesterday, Connor posted a video accusing me of financial fraud. Said I was using his dead benefactor's identity for illegal business purposes. The room was dead silent now. Even the waiters had stopped moving. You mocked my wife's shirt, but it funded your life. I let that sink in. The perfect soundbite. The line that would trend on every platform. Connor, you were right about one thing. This is what giving up looks like. It looks like a woman choosing soft cotton during chemotherapy. It looks like a husband working 3 jobs to pay medical bills. It looks like a family sacrificing their future to help ungrateful children. I folded Sarah's note carefully and put it away. But you know what doesn't look like giving up? Mocking a cancer patient's clothes for internet views. That doesn't look like giving up. That looks like giving up your humanity. I looked directly at Connor for the first time since taking the microphone. Sarah wrote me a letter before she died. She said, "Don't let anyone make you small, David. You're stronger than you know." She was right. I am stronger than you know. Strong enough to build your career. Strong enough to destroy it. The room erupted. Lawyers talking over each other, phones recording everything. Connor standing paralyzed while his professional reputation collapsed in real time. The anonymous support stops now. The contracts are terminated. The charity is over. I set the microphone down and walked through the crowd. 150 people stepping aside as I passed. Phone cameras tracking my exit. Connor still frozen by the bar, probably calculating how many millions of views this would generate. At the elevator, Emma was waiting. She'd slipped in during my speech, tears streaming down her face. "Dad, I had no idea about Mom's money, about any of it. Your mother wanted it that way. I'm so sorry. For him, for everything." The elevator doors opened. I stepped inside and looked back at the ballroom where Connor's life was ending in real time. Don't apologize for him, sweetheart. Apologize to your mother's memory if you want to stay married to someone who mocked it. The doors closed. 38 floors later, I walked into the December night. My phone was already exploding with notifications. The video was going viral before I'd reached my car. Number sign, "You mocked my wife's." Shirt trending worldwide. Hashtag Connor Smith. Trending for all the wrong reasons. Number sign, "Justice for Sarah," replacing every other hashtag. This time, the internet was on my side. This time, Connor would learn what real consequences looked like. Part 9. Complete. 1,350 out of 1,350 words. Please review and let me know if you'd like me to continue to the final Part 10. Retry P continue. Edit. 2 weeks later, Connor was fired. The Christmas party video hit 12 million views in 72 hours. Number sign, "You mocked my wife's" shirt became the top trend globally. Comments flooded in from cancer survivors, widowers, working families who saw themselves in my story. This man is a hero. Connor is pure evil. Sarah deserved so much better. 1.8 million in charity, and he called the man poor. Patterson and Associates released a statement Thursday morning. "We were unaware of Mr. Smith's personal conduct regarding client relationships. His employment has been terminated effective immediately. We are reviewing our ethical standards." Connor's law license was suspended pending investigation. Professional misconduct. Bringing disrepute to the profession. Making lawyers look bad on a planetary scale. Emma filed for separation the following Monday. She came to see me that evening looking exhausted but determined, stronger than I'd seen her since her mother died. "Dad, I'm staying at Mom's friend Janet's house for now. I can't be around him." "I'm sorry it came to this, sweetheart." "No, you're not, and you shouldn't be." She sat in Sarah's old chair holding Sarah's favorite mug. "He mocked Mom's memory for views, then called you crazy when you fought back. I can't forgive that." We talked for hours, about Sarah, about mistakes, about starting over, about what it means to choose dignity over comfort. Connor called that night, one final time. "David, please. My career is over. Nobody will hire me. Emma won't talk to me. You've destroyed everything." I looked at Sarah's picture on the mantel, her radiant smile and the blue shirt that changed both our lives. "Connor, I didn't destroy your life. I just stopped paying for it." "I didn't know the money came from you." "You didn't ask. You took charity for 18 months while mocking your benefactor. That's not ignorance. That's character." What am I supposed to do now? I thought about Sarah's note, about second chances and earned redemption, about what she would want me to say. Learn to be grateful. Learn to work for what you have. Learn the difference between earned respect and borrowed success. I hung up and blocked his number forever. Saturday morning, I drove to Riverside Cemetery, sat by Sarah's headstone wearing her favorite shirt for the last time as a widow's uniform. I kept my promise, I told her. Your memory is safe now. Emma's free, and Connor learned that actions have echoes. The wind rustled through our oak tree. A cardinal landed on her stone, looked at me directly, then flew toward the sunrise. Some people say cardinals carry messages from heaven. I believe that's true.